So if you want to flip to the next screen for those of you that are looking at it manually, if you could, if it's possible to mute your phone, please do so. You can also do it with the system by pressing *6, and you can unmute by #6. Just if there's any background noise, just to kind of make sure folks can hear what's going on. But please do ask questions, and I guess remember to unmute your phone before you do. And I guess for the benefit of others, if you could just give your name and maybe your school or your affiliation, just so that we know who's asking, and that would be great. We're going to cover just an overview of the Envirothon program, and then we have a few coaches, returning coaches, that are going to give some firsthand experiences. We're going to ask them a couple questions and kind of open it up for discussion, and hopefully get some good information. The next slide. So we always poll our volunteers and judges and coaches and teams and try to get some information after the event. And one thing that we'd like to find out about is what Envirothon does for students, what they get out of it. And the Envirothon gets students outdoors to experience their Massachusetts ecosystems, forests, waters, and soils, and wildlife. It also gives them the opportunity to work alongside with natural resource folks. There's a lot of folks that both set up the tests and run the program, as well as committee folks that are involved. So it gives the students an opportunity to experience firsthand different types of careers that are actually in the natural resource field. It also gives them the opportunity to develop some skills, because they are going to have to go out into the community and be involved in decision and action making during their community project. And then, of course, they also have the opportunity to test their knowledge and their skills and teamwork skills during the actual event, taking the tests on the day of the competition. So the Envirothon involves over 500 young people and coaches throughout the year. We have more than 40 communities and schools and organizations that are involved each year. We also have, as I said, a lot of different committee members and volunteers from various federal and state agencies and non-government organizations, as well as colleges and schools and other programs. So there are quite a few people that kind of bring this thing together and make it happen each year. Some of those folks are the current issue judges, so Will does a pretty good job of rounding up some professionals in the area of the current issue topic, which we'll go over in a little bit. But it gives us it gives the students another good opportunity to really get involved with professionals in these different fields. Sorry, we're on slide 7 for those doing manually. I apologize for not verbalizing that. So one thing that we do like to hit home is that the Envirothon is a year-round program. So it's not just the day of the event. There's a lot of things that we do leading up to it. There's the 3 workshops that are done throughout the school year. There's one in the fall at UMass Amherst, which is the 25th of October, Will, is that correct?
25th of October, Friday the 25th.
We also have the winter workshop, which is going to be held at Worcester Technical High School in Worcester, and the spring workshop that's being held here at Alden Research Lab.
The fall and winter workshops are weekdays. The spring workshop is a Saturday. Try to move it around the state a little bit and make it on school days as well as weekends, just so everybody has a chance.
So, and those workshops are a good opportunity for the students to learn about the material that they will need to know for each of the eco-stations, for the soil, water, wildlife, and forestry exams. And there also are current issue presentations as well. So it's a good opportunity for students to get some information, additional information, as well as some hands-on experience and face time with some of the committee members, as well as some of the natural resource professionals that are involved in the Envirothon each year. So the current issue topic this year is sustainable local agriculture, and this is the opportunity for students to kind of get out into the community, research the issues around that topic, and come face to face, ask questions with those community leaders, natural resource folks, as well as community leaders in their towns and surrounding towns, and do this research project. Some of the recent topics last year was sustainable forestry, and we've done some stormwater, renewable energy, invasive species, wetland protection, and the list goes on and on. Do you have anything to add, Will? This is kind of your area.
No, I think you're covering it well. I'm happy to hear questions from people too.
All right.
I'm right now. I mean, the tool that we hand out to people in the fall gives some direction, some kind of framing of the issue, sustainable local agriculture in this case, and then suggests some various ways that people can start their research. We really, the teams that are most successful are researching this through the year, and looking at finding people, finding places, identifying issues that they're going to in their local community. People, places, and issues. And people can start anywhere they want. The teams can start anywhere they want to. Often they'll start with some personal connection that they've got on the issue and branch out from there.
Okay. We're moving on to, we're on slide 9 as well, for those following along at home. So, to round up the year-round experience is, of course, the Envirothon Competition Day. And this year it's going to be May 15th. In 2014, and we're going to be holding at Shoalin Farms in Leominster, and we're actually very excited about that. It's a great site. It's really going to be a good event. So this is where the students actually have their opportunity to test their skills and knowledge, and they're going to get divided up into sub teams. We'll go over this in just, I think, the next slide with the new format. And these sub-teams will divide up and compete on the 4 eco-stations: soil, water, forestry, and wildlife, and then they'll also give their current issue presentation at that time as well. We also have a site community project there as well. Students will actually be able to help out at Shoalin Farms, doing some planting and some harvesting. I think just planting, right, Will? Is that what we decided?
I'm not sure.
Whatever projects they have, so they'll get involved in it with the site as well. The next slide. Also, to talk a little bit about the format, we changed it a little bit last year. So there are going to be 3 65-minute sessions, and also it allows us to have 10 students per team. This was a little bit of, this change came from a lot of the feedback we were getting from coaches as well as some of our curriculum folks wanting to give a little bit more time during the tests and allow coaches to bring more students so that they could kind of keep their program going by bringing additional students, maybe younger students, along. And for our curriculum folks, giving them the opportunity to have brief demonstrations or activities, as well as more time for short answer or expanded kind of questions at their stations. So it gives us a little bit more flexibility, and we got some pretty positive feedback last year, and I think we decided that it's a pretty worthwhile format, and we'll be continuing again with it this year.
What it means is, I mean, the team decides how it wants to subdivide, and it splits up so that every team can take every test. If there are only 3 sessions and there are 5 tests, then you can see that a team that stuck together couldn't take all the tests. The team does all come together for the current issue presentation. So there'd be 5 of the students that would be presenting, and the others, if there is a larger team up to 10, they would be observing that presentation.
Okay. next slide, slide 11 we're on. And so with the competition day, the students also have the opportunity to share their experience in a couple of different venues. We have lunchtime roundtable sessions where students can discuss their community research projects with the natural resource folks. So we usually do this around lunchtime or after lunchtime so that it's kind of an open discussion and lets the students just kind of interact with natural resource folks, including the judges who at this time would be relieved of their duties and could actually go around and talk to the students, those that they judged or those that they didn't, and talk about their projects. And then,
can I say that a big reason that we did that we had the roundtables is that we realized that although the judges got to see several presentations, teams didn't necessarily get to see any presentations by other teams. So they didn't, they're would leave the Envirothon in the dark about how other teams were framing the sustainable ag issue and what they were finding in their community. So the roundtable session is a chance for them to learn from each other, see all the different ways that different teams address the issue. And it's not something that you really need to prepare for. You just bring the boards the presentation boards that you used for your current issue presentation. You just sit down at a table, half your team sits at the table and talks to people who have questions about what they're seeing on the presentation boards, and half the team can go off exploring and find out what other people have done in their presentations. And the coaches and judges are welcome to participate, but it's really aimed at allowing the teams to share with each other. Okay.
And then at the end of the day, we wrap up with awards, and these include Community Research and Action Awards, as well as the individual winners for each station, and then, of course, the overall winners, who would then go on to the national competition.
North American.
Yes, the North American Envirothon. So if anyone had any other questions, we can just move into, I guess, the more discussion section of this talk. Unless anyone had any questions about the Envirothon itself, the program, or anything we just covered there.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
The format being different, where everyone's just doing their own test. Is there much overlap? Like, will there be very many questions from other areas, say at forestry or at soils or something, or can kids specialize in just that one thing? Because one of the things I thought was good about it was that they saw all the interactions between all those areas, and I'm wondering how, with the testing broken up differently, whether that stays the same or not.
Yeah, you can't be certain that you're not going to encounter questions that are related to water on the wildlife test. I mean, all the stations, the curriculum tries to approach these issues ecologically. So the best preparation for everyone on a team is to be familiar with all the areas. You could have a sub-team that specialized in particular, but I would not leave it to them alone. I think your best